Time for the very latest, a little over 7.5 hours from the draft. We have you covered. Josina Anderson with the Browns, Sal Paolantonio with the Jets, Diana Russini with the Giants, representing picks 1 through 4. So let's start in Cleveland. Adam Schefter reporting a mounting belief from those around the league that the Browns will take Baker Mayfield at number 1. Morning, JoJo. What can you tell us?
Anna, good morning. Well, I will say this, barring any unexpected information or proposals surfacing and based off of multiple perspectives that I have gathered both on and off the record, it is my personal feeling that the Browns like and have settled on Baker Mayfield for their number 1 pick tonight when the draft starts at 8 p.m. Now, when I spoke to new Browns general manager John Dorsey, I asked questions designed to see how he feels about Baker Mayfield, including whether the history of Johnny Manziel or the similarities in their personality would be a deterrent. And he told me, quote, "Stress is self-induced. I think we did a thorough job of turning over every stone about potential quarterbacks. We talked about it ad nauseum. I feel comfortable with all of their personalities," and that includes Baker Mayfield, who we know was demonstrative on the sidelines, planted a flag in the middle of the field, has a very brash, confident personality. I also asked Dorsey, how is it that you assess risk in a player? We know that Mayfield had a run-in with the cops while he was in school. He told me, quote, "My faith tells me every man is worth a second chance if he shows a degree of humility and also confidence." I also spoke to head coach Hugh Jackson about multiple quarterbacks, and he says that, we feel good talking to all of them in our environment, but specifically about Mayfield, he said, quote, "He's a bright-eyed guy, very passionate about football, can speak the language. He demonstrated the things that we are looking for in a quarterback." Again, that last part, very key. And lastly, I spoke to Baker Mayfield's head coach at Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley, and he told me this, quote, "I think a lot of the times the fastest way to transform the whole mentality of a franchise that is struggling is to bring the excitement with and energy to a fan base with someone who is not afraid of the challenge but also embraces it." And that is Baker Mayfield. So again, it is my feeling that the Browns are liking and have settled on Baker Mayfield for the number 1 pick, barring anything unexpected. And now for more on the Giants, we send it over to Diana Russini.
Thanks, Josina. The New York Giants at practice today. Odell Beckham Jr. out on the field with his team, but more importantly, the man of the night, new GM Dave Gettleman out on the field watching his team. He looked loose, he looked calm, he even waved to the media. Last night, he actually took his scouts across the Hudson River to Yankee Stadium to catch some baseball, saying that these guys just needed a break after putting in weeks and weeks of work. So the big question, though, who are the Giants going to take at number 2? They have gushed over running back Saquon Barkley, but I spoke to a Giants source this morning, and he said there is a feeling in this building right now that the Giants are looking to trade down. When I asked him why he thought that, he said, "Do you realize the needs this team has?" Well, Pat Shurmur, the head coach, is going to talk to the media later today. We're going to bring it to NFL Live later. But I want to leave you guys with this. Dave Gettleman, a few weeks ago on this draft, said, "If you know what you want, then go do it. Don't be shy. If you go get cute, you're going to lose. You're going to come up on the wrong end." The New York Giants hoping to come up on the right end of this. Now, let's send it over to Sal Paolantonio with the New York Jets.
Diana, you're at the Giants facility. I'm here at the Jets facility. We're only 29 miles apart, and as you can see from the back page of today's New York Post, the fate of these two franchises intertwined in this draft. Lots of luck. Giants and Jets must hit the jackpot tonight. And I talked to head coach Todd Bowles this morning, and he told me he feels like he's in a great position at number 3 to pick, he said, a good player. A player, he said, that could change the direction of the Jets franchise. I talked to a number of coaches and officials here in the last couple of days, and they told me they were very impressed with Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield. One of them told me he had an air about him, an aura about him in the building. He showed toughness. One said, "You know what? If you were in a fight, you'd have Baker Mayfield with you and you'd be okay." Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Sal. Interesting that all the buzz today, the positive buzz, is on Baker Mayfield. Jets traded with the Colts to move up to the 3rd overall pick, marking the 4th time in the common draft era the Jets traded up for a top 5 pick, most by any team in that time. The previous 3 players the Gang Green drafted after trading up to the top 5, get this, combined for 0 Pro Bowl selections in their careers. They're going to get it right this time.
Yeah, speaking of getting it right, the Thunder